The short film challenge is finally here, guys. I am nervous and excited at the same time because I've never done this before. I've been thinking about it for a while now, what rules I should set and the criteria. I think I figured it out, but we'll see. Anyway, I'll talk about it at the end of the video because first I want to give you a few tips, a few things that I've learned myself from shooting my first short film, Whispers. You can skip this if you want, but don't. Okay, so tip number 1, and remember, these are just tips, not rules, just some information that might or might not help you, you know? So tip number 1, keep your production simple. One thing I've learned is that even for a 90-second short film, there's so much going on. It's incredible. So don't make things even more complicated if you don't have to. For example, use one location and preferably a location close by because chances are that you're gonna have to reshoot some scenes or add some scenes. Even your own bedroom could be a good location if you have a good story. So keep your production simple so that you can focus on camera work, the story, how you tell the story, composition. A short film like this is not about who has the most epic location, you know? It's about the story and how you capture that story and how you tell that story to the viewer. For my short film, I used one location, a 5-minute walk from here, but even then, it was an outside location, so I had to take into account the weather, and here in Belgium, that's not always very predictable. Okay, and then tip number 2, make it look like a short film and not a B-roll. I've checked some other challenges on YouTube and some were short film challenges and some were B-roll challenges. I love doing both, but there is a difference. Even though you always hear that for both, storytelling is the most important thing to pay attention to. A B-roll story is not the same as a short film story. For example, a B-roll, and let's take the most cliché example, someone making coffee. So you tell the story of someone making coffee and you can get really creative with that, but the story itself is not that interesting or important. It's how you tell that story that's important, the visuals and the sound. No one cares about the coffee or who's making the coffee. And everyone knows that at the end of the B-roll, there will be a nice cup of coffee. That's it. A B-roll is making something simple or ordinary look interesting. How you tell the story, that's important. Of course, there's also a difference between YouTube B-roll and actual B-roll, because here on YouTube, the meaning of the word B-roll has changed and it's a whole mess now. Everyone is confused, but yeah, I mean, that's the way it is. And actually, it's also not that important here with what I'm explaining right now. Okay, and then we have a short film. And a short film is completely different. A short film is all about the story and the characters. People don't care about the coffee and who's making the coffee in a coffee B-roll, but if you would shoot a short film about coffee making, then all of a sudden the coffee and who's making the coffee gets a lot more important. You want the viewer to care about who's making the coffee and the coffee itself. The character and the story, that's important. A B-roll of making coffee and a short film about making coffee is not the same. Not saying that if you're shooting a short film that the visuals are not important, because of course they are. But I hope that you understand what I'm trying to explain here, the difference between a B-roll, a YouTube B-roll, and a short film. Okay, and then the third tip is try to plan as much as possible. You don't have to write everything down. You know, you can still improvise and get new ideas while you're shooting, but you have a limited amount of time to finish this short film, so you want to work as efficiently as possible, right? I planned a lot before I started shooting my short film, and still I had to reshoot scenes, add scenes, and even the story changed while I was shooting. So to save time, try to plan as much as possible. Do your pre-production properly first. It's better to take a day extra for pre-production than to rush through it so you can start shooting. Okay, there you go. Those are my 3 most important tips for shooting a short film. I hope it helps, but remember, it's just tips, not rules. If you want to shoot your short film at Mount Everest Base Camp, then just go for it, you know? I want to see it. Okay, but anyway, now the rules for my short film challenge. And I don't want to set too many rules, but I do want to set a few rules and criteria to make it easier for me as well as for you guys. Oh, wait, no, maybe first let me tell you what you can win, because that's also important, right? So I've done a lot of gear reviews and now I have a lot of stuff double. Now, instead of selling all that stuff, I thought it would be a better idea to give it to you guys. Well, a few of you, the winners. So, one of the winners will get this Freewell Variable ND Mist Filter Set. 2 filters, $250. And whoever wins this, I will contact you and ask you for the filter size of your lens. And then I will even buy you an adapter ring so that you can use these filters on your lens. That's for one of the winners. And then I also called Artlist and I said, you know what I said? I said, look, this is Joris Hermans. I have a YouTube channel, almost 20,000 subscribers. I'm doing the short film challenge and I demand that you give one of my winners a subscription to Artlist. I demanded it. Now, if you hear that on the phone, you know, you would say yes too, right? So, of course they gave me it. That was a joke. I just asked them nicely and they said yes. That's it. Super simple. Artlist, thank you so much. You guys rock. And then a third winner, I'm not sure. I think there will be a third winner too, but I have to look around, see what I have double, and then the third winner will also get something really nice. 100%. Okay, but now the rules. So yeah, the rules. I'm not sure. This is the first time that I'm doing something like this. I hope it's gonna be clear and that everything works out. These are the rules. The deadline is May 31st. That gives you some time, you know, in case something goes wrong. The length of your short film, 60 to 90 seconds, and that includes credits. So if you want credits, keep that in mind. If you want your actual film to be 90 seconds, then put the credits in the description of the video. There's no specific theme. I want everybody to show a little piece of yourself. You know what I mean? A nice little story, a plot twist, a weird situation, emotional situation, scary, funny. Everything goes. Just go for it. But it has to be new work or unpublished. So if you have something in the works, that's okay too. New or unpublished. And then the music and sound effects, of course, make sure that you use royalty-free music or music that you own the rights to. Music that you've licensed to use. And then upload your film to YouTube. Use the hashtag JH Short Film Challenge in the title of your video. And tag my channel at Joris Hermans in the description. That's it. Now, some of you said that one of the rules should be shooting with a Canon M50 only, but that would be kind of camera racist, right? So we're not gonna do that. You can use any camera you want, all the gear you want, it doesn't matter. And don't think that if you have a cheap camera that doesn't shoot 4K, for example, that you're gonna be judged differently. No, doesn't matter. What's important here is the story, the composition, how you capture the story, you know, that's important. That's what I'm gonna judge. Okay, and that's it. I put the rules in the description if you want to go over them again. Get to work.